Today, we are going to talk about a story that's, believe it or not, over 2,500 years old, and yet it might just be the most important story for our lives right now. We're talking about the goose and the golden egg, and how its ancient wisdom is, seriously, a powerful antidote to modern burnout. So let's just jump right in with a question that gets to the heart of it all.
Wow, that question really hits home, doesn't it? It makes you stop and think about the good things in your life. You know, your health, your job, your relationships. And it forces you to ask, am I taking care of these things? Or am I just demanding so much, so fast, that I'm actually on the verge of destroying them?
To really get this, we've got to go back to the original story. And listen, this is not just some fairy tale for kids. This is a deep critique of short-term thinking that goes all the way back to the 6th century BCE. It's this timeless warning against our urge to rush things that really truly need time.
Okay, so the story starts out pretty simple. You've got this countryman, just a regular person like you or me, who's been given something absolutely miraculous, a source of what seems like effortless abundance.
Now notice the rhythm here. This wasn't a one-time lottery win. It was a steady, reliable daily gift. It was a process, you know? A flow of wealth that he could count on day in and day out. I mean, the guy was set for life.
And here we go. This is where it all starts to go wrong. The daily miracle just wasn't enough for him. His focus shifted from being grateful for the daily egg to being frustrated with how slow it was. He wanted all of it, and he wanted it now. This is that exact moment when gratitude sours and turns into greed.
So he comes up with this plan, right? But it's based on a really tragic misunderstanding. He thinks the gold is this static treasure, like a pile of coins just sitting inside the goose, instead of what it really is, a living product of the goose. So he decides to sacrifice the source itself for this fantasy of getting rich quick.
And that's the gut punch. In his desperate, violent attempt to grab everything at once, he ends up with nothing. The source of his daily miracle is just gone. Forever. He literally destroyed the very thing that was making him wealthy.
So what on earth just happened? Where did he go so wrong? Well, the countryman's mistake is a classic one. And it's all about getting confused between the result and the thing that creates the result. Let's break that down a little.
This really lays out the whole delusion perfectly. You see, the countryman could only see the payout, the egg. That was his entire world. He was completely blind to the provider, the actual living, breathing goose. He couldn't grasp that the egg was just a symptom of the bird's good health. And here's the absolute key. If you sacrifice the health of the provider for a short-term payout, you eventually lose both.
The source material has this incredibly powerful term for this, systemic suicide. And that's exactly what it is. It's not just a bad call, it's the act of literally kicking out the foundation you're standing on. It's like a parasite killing its own host. You're not just losing a benefit, you're destroying the whole system that creates it in the first place.
Okay, so this isn't just some dusty old fable. This pattern is playing out all around us, every single day. It's basically the engine behind burnout, why so many companies fail, and why relationships fall apart. Let's look at some really concrete examples of how we're all killing the goose.
You can see the pattern so clearly here, can't you? On a personal level, your body is the goose. You push it with caffeine and no sleep to get more eggs, and you end up with a total health collapse. In your relationships, you demand constant validation without actually nurturing the connection, and the relationship just withers away. And in business, a company slashes R&D and employee well-being to boost profits this quarter, and in a few years, they've lost all their best people and their ability to innovate. It's the same story every time.
So what's the other way? What's the alternative? Well, the fable isn't just a scary warning. It actually holds this really deep, almost spiritual wisdom about what abundance really is.
This is the big idea right here. This is the whole lesson. The countryman thought wealth was a trophy, something you could grab and put on your shelf. But the story teaches us that true abundance, whether we're talking about money or creativity or love, is a process. It's a rhythm. It's something you get to be a part of, not something you own.
This is what some people call the daily bread principle. It's all about trusting in that daily rhythm of life. The big mistake, the sin of materialism, is thinking the golden egg is more important than the goose that lays it. When you try to force a mystery, to cut it open and figure it out, the magic just disappears. The real gold isn't the egg itself. It's the fact that the goose is alive and well, ready to provide for you again tomorrow.
All right, this all makes a lot of sense, but what do we actually do? How do we stop ourselves from making the same mistake as the countryman? Let's turn all this wisdom into some real, practical actions.
So here's our game plan. First, instead of obsessing over the results, counting the eggs, focus on nurturing the source. Spend your time cleaning the nest. Second, really internalize that success is a continuous process, not some finish line you cross. And that takes faith, right? You have to trust that if you take care of the goose, another egg will show up tomorrow. And finally, you have to actively protect the things that give you life and joy, whether that's your health, your family, or your creative spark.
So let's just pause and make this super personal for a moment. Think about your own goose. What is that core source of your energy, your passion, your best ideas? Now ask yourself honestly, are you feeding it? Are you giving it rest and inspiration and care? Or are you just relentlessly demanding another golden egg day after day without ever giving anything back?
This is really the ultimate takeaway. It is so simple, but it changes your entire perspective. Your primary job isn't to chase the eggs, it's to feed the goose. If you get that part right, believe me, the eggs will take care of themselves.
And that's what it all comes down to. Patience, gratitude, appreciating the daily gift for what it is. Because a steady, reliable flow of abundance, no matter how slow it might feel sometimes, is infinitely better than the tragic silence you're left with when you sacrifice a living miracle for just one moment of greed.